Shoulder mobility is something that a lot of people struggle with. So if you are one of those people who wants to improve your shoulder range of motion, you have probably found that you are spoilt for choice by the various methodologies and ideas on offer. You can do more stretching, you can do more hands-on massage, you can do more foam rolling, and there are a whole manner of odd-shaped implements, some of which look more at home in a sex shop than a gym. But all of these products and half-baked solutions are the reason people don't see lasting change in range of motion. Now, before I explain that, a quick ask. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are going to put out a ton of practical content to help you to avoid injuries, navigate rehab properly, and return to training with confidence. That's information that actually matters because it is information which is going to help you to continue to live the life that you love. Right, let me tell you about a little mistake that I made recently, which was prompted by my ego and curiosity, but in fact presented me with the perfect example to explain how mobility works. Now, Karen and I were in the gym and she randomly just says to me, "Tim, what's your pancake looking like?" Now, if you don't know what a pancake is, it's when you sit on the floor, legs in a wide straddle, and you lean forwards until your chest and head are on the ground. I said, well, it's been a while, so I've got no idea. I've had it in the locker before, but I haven't worked on it for some time. But the moment she said, "What's your pancake like?" I'm 100% going to go and try it. So I sit down, I lean forward, and it felt pretty ropey, to be fair. But the context here now matters. I'm somebody who's got a level of joint hyperlaxity. It's why I've dislocated my hip once and my shoulder 6 times. So I know that from experience, if I sit in that position for long enough, I can gain that range. And sure enough, after about 2 minutes, I am in full pancake, face on the ground, feeling pretty smug, whilst Karen sits there watching on in admiration. So that's my mission accomplished, right? Experiment's done. So I stand up and I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to get back to the session that I had planned for the day. Now here is the problem. To get that range, my musculature around the hamstring and the lumbar spine had to let go in order to give me access to that position. So when I go back to my actual training session and the first lift of the day is a back squat, I start to load the bar, and before I've even unracked it, I know that something in my pelvis and my low back is just not now working as it should. And that is definitely not where you want to be when you're about to squat something reasonably heavy. Now, as the warm-up set progresses, it definitely confirms I am not ready to back squat heavy. I'm working way harder to control position than I should be. My margin for error feels tiny, and it's like everything is on a knife edge. So I shut it down, wind it back, and change the expectations for the session. And here's a principle that applies to any joint in the body. If you are going to change mobility or improve range of motion, you have to also think about strength and control. Yes, you can stretch into new ranges of motion. You can definitely get there and it will look impressive and it might feel quite good in the moment. But just because you can access a range doesn't mean that you're ready to load it. And it's there where lots of people make mistakes. You see, all stretching is really going to do is give you temporary access to a range that you actually can't control. And loading uncontrolled ranges is where the risk of injury starts to go up. So if you've got range without strength or control, your brain is not going to trust you in those positions. So it takes it away. And that's why stretching alone rarely creates lasting usable change. It's good for one session, but you come back the next one and you're exactly where you were before the previous session. So if your goal is just to be bendy, you're not lifting, throwing, running, jumping, training hard, then you can probably get away with it. But if you stretch a pattern and then load that same pattern straight after, just like people will normally do in sports or in the gym, you have to be careful. After my pancake experiment later that day, I ended up with a pretty stiff back. And that's not because I damaged anything. My nervous system has just played a protection card after I took away tension where there wasn't control to back it up. Tension, stability, muscular control, we can frame that in a number of different ways. But the problem is even bigger at the shoulder. You see, at the spine, we've got this corset-like musculature around it, holds everything in place. It's a pretty robust structure. The shoulder doesn't have any of that. The shoulder is designed to move, which means that the control is largely down to muscular forces. We don't have big structures holding this thing in place because that would decrease mobility. So when you hang passively off your lats or your pecs to open them up, you might actually be removing protective tension where you then don't yet have strength. You will look more mobile, feel more mobile, but you're actually less prepared for training or sport. And that is where you're going to get into trouble. So if you want better shoulder mobility, or mobility anywhere to be honest, here's the rule. Every time you change range of motion, looking for those gains or improvements, you need to match strength and control in that same range. Access the range, strengthen the range under progressive loads. That's how you create range of motion changes that last. And for the shoulder, where movement capacity is of the highest priority and often governs success, progression, and robustness in sport and training, ensuring that range is paired with control and strength is one way that you can stop repeating the same injury cycles. So think about it like this. Wherever you're going to go and use any of those tools, and they are all fair play, you can use any of those different options that I spoke about at the beginning of the video. They will work in terms of improving range of motion, but you also need to sensibly load those positions using specific exercises in order to keep things safe. If that has been useful, then please like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to put out some information that I hope is going to help.